Oh, hey, what's up, guys? Josiah Novak here from The True Transformation. Today, I want to talk to guys specifically who are over the age of 30 and heading into your 40s, like me, in my late 30s, moving into the back stretch of life, if you will, or the second half, or whatever you want to call it, right? And I want to talk about building muscle. I want to talk about how to build muscle in your 30s, 40s, and beyond. Because I know a lot of you are probably still in the range of like, I want to be at least more defined, I want to have more strength, and I'm not ready to just give it all away, be flabby, have a dad bod for the rest of your life. You want to feel respected with your physique. So today we're going to map out some strategies that I think will benefit you tremendously, that have actually helped me continuously add muscle year after year, even in my 30s, even after my growth spurt that I had in my late teens, early 20s, still adding muscle tissue and strength as I get older. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Okay, so let's talk about the first mindset piece. I always like to start with mindset when it comes to building muscle because a lot of us think that there's some secret out there. And sure, there are secrets. We're gonna get into some really good ones today. But the most important piece is understanding that building muscle is slower than losing fat. Building muscle, the process of building muscle, unless you are literally an alien from outer space who has godlike genetics, your process of adding muscle is going to take longer than it's going to take for you to get lean. It's just the way it is, okay? Most guys, like the average guy, can expect to add, especially as he gets older, max a few pounds of muscle a year. This is with consistent training. This is with consistent nutrition, rest, and making sure we're optimizing your hormone levels. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But this is good news too, because we don't need to fall in love necessarily with the scale going up. We need to fall in love with the process of getting stronger in the gym, being consistent with our training, going through different phases of workouts, enjoying it, right? And knowing that when we come out the other side, we're not going to be 30 pounds bigger. We're not going to be, 50 pounds larger with these massive cartoonish muscles. But a few pounds of muscle, if you ever go to the store and pull out a pound of steak raw, and you put 3 of those next to each other, that is a lot of tissue. If you added that to your body, you're going to be significantly bigger and noticeably bigger by your peers and your family and your wife and kids and all that stuff. So let's jump into the first thing that you need to do to build muscle effectively in your 30s, 40s, and beyond. All right, so before we get into building muscle, I wanna be clear. It makes 0 sense for you to try to build a ton of muscle and be like in a real muscle building phase unless you're lean enough to do so. I almost look at getting lean as like earning your right to build more muscle. Now, you're still gonna be able to train the same way you would train to build muscle as you're getting leaner. I highly suggest you do that because you wanna keep as much muscle as possible. And sure, you can add a little bit of muscle in the process of getting lean, most definitely. But if you're trying to add tissue, you're gonna be needing to eat more calories. And if you're already carrying around too much body fat, you're going to experience very little return on your efforts, okay? Because your body just isn't optimized to build muscle. Your insulin sensitivity isn't optimized, your digestion isn't optimized, your recovery is not optimized because you're probably way too inflamed from carrying too much body fat. So the first step should be to get to a healthy body fat level. What does this look like? 12 to 15% body fat. That should be the minimum standard to move into a muscle building focused phase. So guys, I have tons of videos on how to get lean. Diet, training, the whole 9 yards. Our whole program is designed to help guys get lean. You can check it out in the description below. But look, before you jump full blown into building muscle, get lean first. Drop those unneeded, unwanted pounds of body fat. Get to a healthy range of body fat. You don't need to be shredded. 12 to 15% body fat is a good target. That is step number 1. The first step with building muscle, I could go one of 2 directions. I could tell you about training first. I could tell you about nutrition. Most guys are gonna tell you about nutrition first. Like, yeah, you need to eat this many calories, this much protein. We'll cover that in a second. I wanna talk about training because training can be one of the pieces that gets jacked up too. When you're really focused on building muscle, you need to be consistent with training. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean switching up your workouts and trying to do this muscle confusion crap every week. It doesn't mean going to Orange Theory or CrossFit and trying to burn as many calories as possible. That stuff's cool and it's part of fitness, and I'm totally down with you doing it if that's your thing. But if you're like, dude, I want to notice significant muscle size increase, I want to notice more definition, I want my shoulders to be bigger, I want my back to be thicker, all that cool stuff, you need to be consistent with the stimulus you're providing your body, okay? This means sticking to the same exercises for 3 to 6 weeks. This means being within a certain rep range for 2 to 4 weeks. Not being the guy who's like, oh, that program sounds cool today, but tomorrow jumping into a different one. Oh, I want to do push-pull legs. I want to do back on Mondays, but then next week it's chest on Mondays. And you're constantly switching it up and you can never be consistent. Find a consistent routine that makes sense for you. My personal favorite, if I'm just throwing it out there, I like the push-pull leg split. I also like upper body, lower body, and then repeat. 3 to 4 days a week of training for most guys is enough. But the bottom line takeaway here is you gotta be consistent with your training. Don't switch it up constantly. That's not gonna provide the stimulus your body needs to actually change. Okay, so let's move into the next training tip. Okay, training tip number 2 is this. You're gonna need to get stronger, all right? So let's just say, as an example, I can bench press 50 pounds on the incline dumbbell press today for 6 to 8 reps, okay? Just as an example. Now, every week, I should be trying to do one of 2 things. More reps with the same weight, or more weight, same reps. And guess what? You're not gonna get stronger every week. You're not gonna be able to do more reps every week. That's okay. That's part of the game. But in your mind, you should be trying to add weight safely, of course, perfect form, not pushing yourself to the extent where you get hurt, but adding total volume to your routine by either more weight or more reps with the same weight. At the very least, this is the basics around building muscle. Guys who struggle to build muscle often aren't getting stronger, aren't trying to push weight up, aren't trying to increase reps with the same weight. They're stuck doing the same reps, same weight, month after month, year after year, and they wonder why they can't get more muscle. Well, that's why, okay? So at the very least, make sure you're trying to get stronger month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. That's gonna result in more muscle, more than anything else. So we'll switch gears just for a second because nutrition is an area where I used to struggle, to be honest. I was overweight for a good chunk of time. And it wasn't until I really started to learn about what matters in nutrition that I was able to both lose fat and build more muscle. The big things you need to be concerned with when you're trying to build muscle is the same thing you need to be concerned with when trying to lose fat. That's the good news. It's simple. Calories and your protein. You gotta make sure you're staying on top of those 2 variables. The big thing that gets guys off track when they're trying to build muscle is they try to do this whole thing called bulking. Okay, they try to just eat as many calories as possible. Going to fast food, going here, going there, going out to eat, and just pounding calories because they think that's what's gonna get them bigger. Not true at all. You need to be eating right at maintenance or slightly above by a few hundred calories. So the calories that are required for you to maintain your weight, add a couple hundred to that number. So here's the thing, you might still at times be a little hungry, okay? You might still have an appetite. That's part of the game too, right? There's nobody out there who can just throw thousands of calories, once again, unless you're just an absolute genetic freak, eating 5,000, 10,000 calories a day, saying, oh, I'm just bulking. No, you're getting fat. That's what you're doing. You're adding body fat rapidly. Remember what I said in the beginning of the video, you're not gonna be able to add more than a few pounds of muscle. And we'll talk about steroids in a second because I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, if I take steroids, I can add more. And yeah, it might be true, but if you're natural or if you have hormone levels that are in the natural range, you shouldn't be expecting to add more than a few pounds of muscle. So don't throw all the calories, don't try to throw everything inside your body to add this mass amount of muscle. It's just not gonna work. You're just gonna get fat. And then when it comes time to diet it off, you're probably gonna lose the small amount of muscle that you gain because you have so much fat to lose. So find your maintenance calories, stay right around there for a period of time, then add 100 to 200 calories. Keep an eye on that scale. You shouldn't see the scale go up by more than a pound a week, I would say at the most. That's like at the high level, all right? So nutrition, keep it simple. Calories, protein, get those 2 things dialed in, and I guarantee you will be ahead of 99% of people. So the S word, steroids. Gotta talk about it, right? TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, what does it all mean? Well, I'm not a doctor, and so I can't give you doctor advice. But what I can tell you is that I have really smart friends who are doctors who specialize in helping guys get their hormonal levels where they need to be. What I can tell you is that it will help. Getting your testosterone and also your estrogen levels and all your health markers where they need to be is going to help you not only add muscle, but stay lean. Because when those hormones are out of whack, the body just isn't optimized. It isn't going to build muscle as fast as it could. It's not going to recover as fast. It's not going to burn fat as fast. It's going to make things harder on you if those levels aren't where they need to be. So my general advice in this realm is, one, get your blood work done. Especially if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you should be getting it done every 6 months. Get it checked out. Then get feedback from maybe not your family doctor, because they may not be experts in HRT and TRT. Seek out a medical professional that specializes in that stuff. If you want my 2 cents on who that is, you can email me, reach out to me. My contact info is in the description of the video. I can send you to a few guys I trust. But remember, you don't need this stuff unless your testosterone is low, okay? Don't try to get on this stuff unless you absolutely need it, because it's something that once you're in the game, it's gonna be difficult to get off. I'm not saying you can't get off, but it's a permanent decision in my opinion, especially from the guys I've talked to who utilize it. But it's a great benefit if you need it. If you don't need it and you just wanna do things naturally, getting your diet in check, getting your sleep in check, getting your water in check, getting your training in check, that's all gonna help increase your testosterone level naturally. So HRT, TRT is not the only way out if you're low testosterone, but if you are low, I would consider at least exploring how to get that up as fast as possible. It's gonna help you a ton. So we're getting kind of long with the video. I wanna wrap things up with a couple just quick hitter tips that have helped me over the years. One analogy or one statement that I live by is stimulate, don't annihilate. A lot of guys wanna go in the gym and they wanna just rip their bodies apart. They wanna just train as hard as they can, lift as hard as they can. They end up getting hurt, or they tear something, or they're just constantly in a state of recovery. They're never in a state of adaptation, meaning the muscle is just trying to get back to square one. It's never getting stronger. It's never expanding and actually building new tissue. It's just trying to repair the limited tissue that it has. So go in the gym with the idea that you're gonna train with focus and intensity, but you're not gonna hurt yourself. Stop a rep or two shy of failure. You don't need to go to failure on every set. You don't need to destroy your central nervous system and your recovery ability by blasting through every set and trying to push yourself to some insane level. Stimulate, don't annihilate. That's one quick hit. The second thing is quality sleep. If you're not sleeping enough, if you're getting like 5 hours of sleep a night, you're gonna really struggle to grow muscle. Muscle growth happens outside the gym, and when you're sleeping, that's when the most recovery takes place. So try to shoot for 7 to 8 hours a night if you're serious about building muscle. You're not gonna need to do double workouts, cardio in the morning, training at night. Focus on one focused training session 3 to 4 times a week, and then get that sleep that you need to recover. Third thing is my favorite supplement for building muscle, creatine. It's the cheapest, it's the most proven, has the most studies backing it. 5 to 8 grams of creatine monohydrate a day will be more than enough. Take it daily after your workout. I promise you that's gonna be the most bang for your buck when it comes to supplementation. Guys, that's it. That is my muscle building strategies for guys 30, 40, and beyond. Take these to the bank. If you need help with this, if you wanna get on a program that outlines exactly how to build muscle, I have a link in the description below for my 90-day formula. It's gonna help you build muscle, get in the best shape of your life. You can check out all the details below. If you just have questions, leave them in the comments. What is your number one struggle with building muscle? Let me know in the comments right now. Worst case scenario, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back again with more videos soon on helping you utilize the power of fitness to transform not just your body, but your entire life. Remember, life moves fast. Make it count. Josiah Novak. I'll talk to you on the next video. Peace.